Hello and welcome to another edition of... What are we doing again?
We are actually going to be showing off more of our
video collection.
Video collection, yes.
But before we get to the second shelf, we'll have to start on new additions to the top shelf. So come on over. Look a little closer. You can do it. Just watch you stab this stuff on the ground. I tried to warn you. Alright, I've actually got a list of everything we have done and what we still need to do. So let's start over here. Dink. More recent edition is this series called Gamezillong Battle Maids of Akihabara. Well, let's move on. It's honestly not good.
You just wanted to touch the Lady Titan.
Let's see. Speaking of Titan, we've got Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1, which goes along with the other Attack on Titan Blu-ray sets I've got.
I gotta pick up some of the rest. I'm kind of lacking on that.
I know part 2 is out for the final season, I just don't have it yet. But we gotta stay over here anyway. Because now we got The Beast Below. This one's also a recent addition.
I don't think I've even seen that.
No, we haven't watched it yet.
No, meaning, I guess I haven't paid too much attention on what's on the...
Well, it's a mystery to everybody. Let's see. Moving on. Alright. We gotta move the Emissary of Hell here in order to get to Bible Man Legacy. Volumes 1 through 3. Because Bible Man counts as a tokusatsu series. We're at a lost words.
Okay.
It's a fun series for the most part. And this is a random assortment of episodes from the first 2 shows. Alright. Gotta put everything back in place so that Spider-Man can...
It looks like Spider-Man is actually just kind of holding all them back.
No, he's holding himself back. Because he has restraint.
Does he? Does he truly?
Yes. And remember that Code Geass set that I had last time? I have since replaced it with the Blu-ray collection that does feature the second season.
Well, that's good. Well, I can't talk. Code Geass, yes. That box took up so much room, though.
Yeah. Now it's relatively slim.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in here we've got Dawn of the Monsters. Pretty fun game. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
In the mid-future.
The mid-future. As opposed to the far future.
Indeed.
Let's see, okay, well, here we have an SRS release. Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters, which is just utter chaos.
It's a shot on Shidio.
Yeah, we tried watching it and that was really hard to follow.
What?
It was a lot of noise and confusing stuff. But since we previously talked about getting a Blu-ray set to replace a larger set, now we've got Neon Genesis Evangelion on Blu-ray, which includes not only all the episodes of the TV series, but also the end of Evangelion.
So it decides to take one of the movies?
I think it may have both of the movies. I'm not sure. I haven't fully explored what's all on this yet. I will have to check to see if this has the original ADV dub or if it's got the new dub that people were complaining about.
I didn't mind the new dub.
Well, people did, so...
Well, people just get butthurt about everything.
This is true. This is a known fact about humans.
I'm filming you. Go up and down the list.
I think we may have talked about, or... Yeah, we probably mentioned it. The Godzilla game for the PlayStation 4. I think that was in the last video. I forgot to check. For sure.
Okay.
And that finishes up everything that was on the top shelf. So let's move over to the next shelf.
Middle.
The middle shelf. Don't need this list anymore. Gonna move this over.
Now everything is in scrambles.
It's gonna be. This is just one of the timelines for Gundam. Alright, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, Chronicle of Char and Sayla, as well as Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, Chronicle of the Loom Battlefield, both of which take place before the main TV series.
So, Gundam.
It's good. We've got MS Igloo, which contains the three MS Igloo 3-episode mini-series that are all CGI. They're fine.
Fine.
They're not super important and they have a very loose plot, so they're skippable. Next up we have Mobile Suit Gundam Zeonic Front for the PlayStation 2. This is a bit of a tactical action game, which is not normally my thing, but I like this game. This is a fun game.
I just picture, like, Gundam games being just Gundam fighting Gundam.
Now we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Collection 1, as well as Collection 2, as well as the movie trilogy that summarizes them.
Now,
Great stuff.
now get them back in order.
Next we've got Mobile Suit Gundam The 08th MS Team, set during the original series, but focusing on a group of soldiers in the jungles of Earth. That's a good one. There's going to be a running theme. Me just saying, that's a good one. Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. This one's my favorite, personally. Oh, that ending.
Sorry, the light made it blur.
Oh.
Good. Battle in the Pocket?
War in the Pocket.
War in the Pocket?
Next we've got Gundam Evolve, which is a collection of animated shorts set in various parts of the Gundam series. Got the Universal Century timeline with like Mobile Suit Gundam, Zeta Gundam. We've got Gundam Wing, we've got G Gundam, we've got SD Gundam. It's from all over the place. It's a fun.
What about Unicorn Gundam?
That hadn't come out yet.
Blasphemy.
Next we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt December Sky, which was a movie adaptation of the 4 episodes that were released of Thunderbolt Season 1. And then we've got its follow-up, Bandit Flower, which was a movie version of the other 4 episodes that got released to the net. These are based on the Thunderbolt manga, which I have not read. And they are kind of grim.
Grim.
Next we've got Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. It doesn't say that there, but that's what the subtitle is. It's also got the movie version of it that compiles all the series. It's fine.
It's just fine. It's not good.
It's not. It's good. I like the designs for the mobile suits and that. And it does help lead right into Zeta Gundam.
He's actually lent me that one. That's good. I can vouch.
We've also got Zeta Gundam Volume 2 and Zeta Gundam, A New Translation. Let's move on. Zeta Gundam is a great series, but these movies are a terrible adaptation of them.
You even let me know when you let me... The show is good. You might be upset about the movie.
Then we get the sequel, Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta. It's not an anime, apparently.
It's not an anime?
For those who are curious, the opening theme for the first half is "This is not an anime."
This is not an anime.
This one's a bit of a weird one because it's a lot more lighthearted than previous Gundams. Until you get to the second half, then it gets all super dark. And it's weird. It's a weird juxtaposition. Not inherently bad, but odd. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. Now, this one's a beauty.
Didn't you guys do the Proto Balls talk on it?
We have not done that on this yet.
But you've done other Gundam ones.
We have done some other Gundam ones, but we have not done this one yet. Maybe at some point in the future. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, the complete collection, because it has all 7 of the episodes. I say episodes, but they were just movie-length theatrical releases, I think, or OVAs. Anyway, this is really good.
You haven't said that in a while, so...
Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative, Special Edition. Comes with a special booklet. I think it's got like art and stuff. I haven't really looked through it. This one's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
I can't complain about it, but I forget it exists quite a bit. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam F91, which is condensed.
F91. What did 91 ever do to you guys?
It's what it didn't do, and that was be adapted into a TV series like it was originally written to be.
Oh, it was supposed to be... Oh. So this is just a movie compilation.
Well, because they only made the movie.
So, yeah, movie.
As a result, it feels very rushed in terms of its plot. Thankfully, it did get some spin-offs with the Crossbone Gundam manga series, which you should really read. Wish it were more readily available here in the US, but let's move over to the next.
We're more Gundams, folks. There's a lot.
We are on the... We aren't even halfway through. We're going to be here for a bit. Okay. Next up, we've got Mobile Suit Victory Gundam, or V Gundam. Collections 1 and 2. These ones are good ones to finish off the Universal Century timeline with. And then you've got G-Savior, which is not a good way to finish off the Universal Century timeline.
So, it's not very good?
Not really. It's boring. And they don't even say the word Gundam in it.
Well, then it should be deleted from the timeline.
Most people ignore it. Next, we've got Reconquista in G, which is apparently it's set out.
Gundam G?
Gundam Reconquista in G. This one is confusing. It's fine. It's got some great character and mech designs, but the story is... I'm still not entirely sure what the point of it was. I swear there's one episode that starts in such a way that made me think that maybe I had missed something, but no, that's just how the story progressed. It just...
So it made you feel like you didn't see an important plot line that
just didn't exist in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, that was super confusing. Next up, we've got the much better Turn A Gundam, called Turn A Gundam.
I can vouch that is a very, very good series.
Yeah, quite totally different from other Gundam shows. We've also got the two compilation movies, Earthlight and Moon Butterfly. Pretty good ways of condensing Turn A. Those ones are very fine. Next up, we've got Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Sets volumes 1 and 2. This is my overall favorite Gundam series because of how just distinct it is.
Well, the plot is quite interesting. Instead of an actual war happening where both sides use Gundams.
Let's just have a fighting tournament.
That's right.
Let's just do Street Fighter, but with giant robots. Also environmentalism.
Yes.
But not too much of that. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, sets 1 and 2. I keep wanting to refer to these as New Mobile Report Gundam Wing, because I swear I saw that used as a title for this at some point when watching it when it was on TV. But apparently, officially, it's Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. I'm still going to keep calling it what I want to call it. This is good, though. This is good.
It is good.
It definitely requires you to pay attention a lot more than the others, because you'll get plot twists like every episode, and if you skip an episode, you're going to be so lost.
So just think if that was on TV and you missed one episode, you'd be so confused.
We've also got Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, which contains all 3 of the OVA episodes, as well as the compilation movie, which are both set after the original Gundam Wing. It also includes the Operation Meteor shorts, which basically do a piss-poor job of summarizing Gundam Wing as a whole. Next, we've got Turn A Gundam, or After War Gundam X, sorry. Both of these are set in a post-apocalyptic timeline, but it doesn't really linger on that too much, which is a bit of a disappointment. Also, I keep hearing conflicting reports of it having at one point been canceled, but then also maybe not canceled. It apparently had a bit of a troubled production.
Your troubled production.
Oh man, he got me good with that one. Next we've got Gundam Seed Collections 1 and 2, and these are the HD remaster project versions, so these contain the HD re-releases of the series that came out like 10 years after the original airing. Which is for the better because I've seen some comparison shots and some
shit.
Good series, great series. Which is more than I can say for Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny, which
sequel.
Yeah, set a few years afterwards. It's got its good points, but by and large, it just doesn't compare. It's just not a good comparison to Seed. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam CE-73 Stargazer.
Well, that wasn't a glare. That was the...
Yeah. This is an ONA series that was released while Seed Destiny was airing, so its plot kind of takes place during Seed Destiny, but you really couldn't tell because there's not a whole lot of crossover. It's kind of its own standalone story, which is fine. I have no issues with it. Next up, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam 00, the first season, which is great. It's like Gundam Wing Redux. We've also got Mobile Suit Gundam 00 Special Edition, which contains compilation movie versions of the first and second seasons. So, of course, we got to talk about... Well, once we get everything back in order over here.
No.
Hoopla! We've got Mobile Suit Gundam 00 second season, which is like Zeta Gundam. Like if Zeta Gundam happened after Gundam Wing. It's good. It's, again, good series. We've got Mobile Suit Gundam 00, Awakening of a Trailblazer. Not Awakening of a Trailblazer. Awakening of the Trailblazer. Let's move on.
I was going to say, if it got to 7, I'd laugh.
7?
No. 007.
Oh. Although some people have jokingly referred to it as Opie.
Oh.
Because some of the characters are a bit buxom. We've got Gundam Build Fighters. Now this is what actually got me into Gunpla building. And if anybody's seen my personal second channel where I'm just showing off my Gunpla, I've got a pretty extensive collection. We've got Gundam Build Fighters Special Build Disc, which features the OVA's Island Wars, which is set after the second season of Gundam Build Fighters. We've got Battlelog, which is just random stories from both of the seasons. And then Jim's Counterattack, which is a sequel to Build Fighters and a prequel to Build Fighters Try. Which brings us to Build Fighters Try. This one's a fine one.
Yes. I do like it, but I do prefer the first set.
That is the general consensus. Next, we've got Gundam Build Divers, which is basically Gundam Build Fighters, but .hack. It does have some designs that are similar to the .hack characters, and a couple plot points that are also similar, including one that I call a plot twist that I called as early as the first episode. It's fine. It's enjoyable. Personally, I prefer its sequel, Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, which I do not have. It is out. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up. Someday. That's always brought a tear to my eye, honestly. In a good way. Next, we've got Gundam Age, Collections 1 and 2, as well as Memory of Eden, which is a compilation of the events of... it's a compilation of the events from the second story arc and the third story arcs.
Okay.
And the fourth story arc. Let's move on. It's an ambitious series. I'll give it credit for that, but I feel like it pushes its story a bit too forward too quickly. Next, we've got Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I would like to borrow those when I get a chance.
I can't blame you. I mean, there's like a certain sect of Gundam fans who have only watched these, and the Mobile Suit designs are really good to the point where I have basically started a collection of just the Gundams from this and its spin-offs.
I kept coming over and I always get like an episode here or there when you were actually like rewatching it through the, and it just interests.
Oh yeah, it's good. I mean, like I said, there are some who have only know of the Gundam through this. I'm not gonna make some big grand statement. Next, we've got the Guyver 2, Dark Hero. I do not have the first movie, or the original OVA, or the second anime. Those are all stuff I want to check out. I have read the manga. I haven't watched this movie, but I have read a sizable chunk of the Guyver manga, and that stuff's good. So, I want to actually watch the first movie before watching the second one.
I'd understand that.
First movie has Mark Hamill in it.
There you go.
Next up, we've got Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't have that one because that one doesn't have a giant baby in it.
No, it doesn't.
We actually haven't watched this yet. This is one of the oldest DVDs we've had in our collection that we still haven't gotten around to watching.
Well, other things keep coming that kind of interest us.
Next up, we have Hornet, which is an Asylum movie based on Bumblebee. It's probably in the same continuity as Transmorphers. I don't know. I've not seen any of them. Next up, we have the Korean film, The Host.
We have watched this.
This is a good one. Mm-hmm. We'll have to cover this sometime. Next, we've got Howl from Beyond the Fog.
This one was interesting because it has puppets.
Yes, it's a mostly puppet production. And this is yet another SRS production. If you can see that. Yeah, we'll be getting into more SRS stuff. Not in the near future, I believe. This is one that's a bit more recent for us in terms of channel content, as we just talked about this movie last month.
Yes.
I Kill Giants. Go see the podcast for our thoughts on that. Mm-hmm. Oh, my feet. Next, we've got Ice Road Terror from our very first Christmas episode.
My coffee's still better.
Next up, we've got Inazuman, which is one of the many tokusatsu shows that Shotaro Ishinomori created for for Toei. So this has Ban Daisuke, who had previously been the star of Kikaider, which we'll get into soon enough. And the best way I can describe the series is if you took X-Men and gave Wolverine all the good scenes, and all the other X-Men are just kind of there.
So, X-Men 3.
But in like a good way. Yeah. Next up, we have Inhumanoids, The Evil That Lies Within, which is a DVD containing the first 5 episodes of Inhumanoids, a toy line that Hasbro produced in the 80s that got a 13-episode cartoon series. This is just the first 5 episodes. Wish this had been more popular so that I could get the Inhumanoids, because they got some good design.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get that shoved in there. Put everybody back over here.
And we move along.
Standing on my own 2 feet hurts.
And we just got... Well, okay. The next shelf only has that one row.
But on the topic of Inhumanoids, we've also got volumes 3 and 4, which contain the next 4 episodes. Apparently they only made 2 DVDs, so the remaining 4 episodes of this series are just out there.
Out there.
But yeah, this one gives you a better look at what the Inhumanoids themselves look like.
Yeah.
Cool toys. Next up, we've got Iron King, a somewhat obscure tokusatsu series.
I consider him kind of an Ultraman ripoff, but he's his own hero.
Well, he did have some of the people who did work on the Ultra series work on it, so...
I'm not saying it's a bad series at all. It's just the design is just too Ultraman for me.
Yeah, this was produced by Senkosha, which was part of their line of tokusatsu shows that are a bit more on the obscure side. Another example is Red Baron.
Now that's a good show, but we already talked about that.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Iron Giant. Let's move on now.
Classic.
This is a classic, but it does have a bit of a sore spot for us since it was the first of our review videos to get
copyright or
blocked worldwide, so nobody could get to see it. It was stupid. It was very demoralizing.
Yep.
So while the movie is great and fantastic and must watch, it's a bit of a sore spot for us. Next up, we have It Came from the Desert, based on the PC game of the same name. And this one's a pretty fun movie. We're in it, apparently.
What?
It's the one with Lucas and Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Next, we've got Jack the Giant Killer, which actually includes 2 versions of the film. It's got the original 94-minute cut, and the re-envisioned 91-minute musical version.
Oh my.
This one's a fine fantasy film. Next up, we've got Jack the Giant Slayer, which I picked up at a thrift shop for like $1. We'll get around to watching it sometime. Next, we have The Jurassic Dead, which we've talked about somewhat before.
We had a podcast on it.
We did do that. Mm-hmm. It's an okay film. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting topic of zombie dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Don't see that much. Next up, we've got the super obscure one, Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Don't really know a whole lot about this one. We haven't watched it yet. Next up, we've got The Lost World Jurassic Park. I guess they made a prequel or something. Mm-hmm. Jurassic Park 3. The Strikes Back of the Jurassic Park series. For anybody who's actually watching any of these. Jurassic World.
I've never seen that one.
Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, the television series from Netflix that takes place between World and World 2. Next up, we've got Jurassic Park 5, Jurassic World 2, Lost World 2, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just gotta look at my face on this one.
It had its moments, but it was bad.
Next up, we've got Jurassic World Dominion. We have not watched this one yet, just like all the others.
We're trying, people. Come on.
We're joking. We've seen up to Fallen Kingdom.
Yep.
Except for Camp Cretaceous. I haven't watched that one yet. Next up, we've got Kaiju Mono, a movie by Minoru Kawasaki, mm-hmm. who has done quite a few indie toku movies in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much a wimpy guy who gets zapped by something and makes him into a buff
giant wrestler.
Yep. Acted by Tosuke Akeshita. I failed.
Next up, we've got Kamen Rider V3. And the reason I've got V3 and not the original series is because I haven't released the original series on DVD or Blu-ray. Also, if you want to get your hands on this and Inazuman and a couple others we're going to be talking about soon, do that soon because the company that was selling these is going out of business. So they are a bit pricey, but they are definitely worth picking up. Mm-hmm. Great second season. Next, we've got Kamen Rider Black, which I rewatched recently, and it still holds up fantastically well for the most part. Definitely a must-watch in the Kamen Rider series.
Kuga!
Yep, we've got Kamen Rider Kuga, which is another fantastic entry in the Kamen Rider series. Another must-watch. It's my personal baby. I love it. It's so good. Every time I rewatch it, I find something new to love about this. I'm so glad that this was the first Blu-ray release of the Kamen Rider series. It was worth it. I say that like it was the first one. 01 was the first one. It's the first one in my heart. But speaking of 01, we won't be talking about that yet. Bait and switch.
Got them all riled up.
First, we got to talk about Kamen Rider Ryuki. This one's a pretty good one.
I like it.
Yeah. A fun, interesting rider series with a bunch of characters that are at odds with each other. Clashing of ideals. Great stuff. Next, we've got Kamen Rider 01, which is the first actual Blu-ray release for Kamen Rider here in the States. It's a good way to start the Reiwa era.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get out of breath talking about this. AI versus humanity. Good stuff. And next up, we've got Kigai from the same company that made Akibaleon. Except this one's actually good. This one's like Ultra Q in terms of quality.
Ain't that the girl that has the yo-yo?
No?
No.
You might be thinking of Suka Bandeka. which is a completely different series.
Face just looks familiar. I might have saw it in something else. Oh well.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna think about it in this video.
Next up, we've got Jinzo Ningen Kikaider Volume 1. Again, great series. I've got all
Just grab them all.
nine volumes of this. Again, the company that's making these is going out of business soon. So if you want to pick these up, do so quickly because they will be gone by the end of the summer. Hopefully by the time I actually get this video up, they'll still be around. Otherwise, did I time this poorly. Next up, we've got the sequel, Kikaider 01. Let's move on. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that.
Oh.
On the other hand, Mechanical Violator Kikaider, I am a fan of, despite it not that being that good of a movie in general. It's more the art design that I love, rather than the actual content. Next up, we've got Jinzo Android Kikaider the Animation, Volumes 1 through 3, as well as Kikaider 01 the Animation. I do not have Volume 4. That one is very difficult to get my hands on. Wish I had it, but can't help it.
No.
Good adaptation of the original manga for Kikaider. Definitely worth checking out. And we're not quite done with Kikaider just yet.
Excuse me. Behold the Ultraman army.
It has grown since the last time you saw it. I mean, unless you watched the last video, in which case you probably saw it there. But next up, we've got Kikaider Reboot, the 2014 movie. That let's move on.
Yep.
It's not bad, but it's just okay. Next up, we've got King Dinosaur.
Let's move on.
This is a 2-pack with the movie The Jungle, which we have not seen. Doesn't have giant monsters, so who cares? Yeah, we've talked extensively about how much we strongly hate King Dinosaur. That is a terrible movie. But what's a good movie is King Kong, if you ignore the racism. I mean, that's...
It's there.
This was the 30s, man.
Yep.
Times were different. Times were weird. Next, we've got Son of Kong, its sequel, which is slightly less racist.
Yeah.
Slightly. Again, both good films for the special effects genre.
Yeah.
Next, we've got King Kong, the Animated Series, Volumes 1 and 2. Unfortunately, most of this series is lost media. But that's mostly because nobody's released the entire thing, which is a shame, because this was pretty good. And they did see. However,
was it a Hanna-Barbera release?
No, it was Rankin Bass, which brings us to King Kong's Escapes, which is based on that animated series. Again, why was this lost? Why did the original cartoon become mostly lost media is beyond me, because King Kong Escapes is pretty well known.
Yep.
I mean, it's got freaking Gorosaurus in it. He's over there. Well, look what happened. Look what happened.
Look what happened.
Shout out to Monster Island Buddies. You make some great stuff. Next, we've got King Kong, the Collector's Edition, which is the 76 remake.
It has its moments.
This includes both the original theatrical version as well as the extended television cut of the film, which is even more boring.
Yeah.
That is incredibly long-winded. Not a bad movie. Unfortunately, I do not have the next King Kong movie, King Kong Lives.
That's expensive.
Or at least it was until I went looking last night and found it for like $15 used. So I ordered that. So that'll be there by the next time we do one of these.
All right. Here we
Next, we've got The Mighty Kong, a animated musical based on King Kong, which everybody forgets exists.
Yep.
We watched it once, and I need to rewatch it to actually watch it because I had some other stuff going on, so I couldn't pay attention. That's on me.
It's pretty much the plot of King Kong, but more sing-song.
Next, we've got Kong the Animated Series Volumes 1 and 2, which are weird. They are kind of sequels to the original movie. If Fay Wray's character decided to get out of acting and going to bioengineering to make a clone of King Kong that's also the brother of her grandson, and the two are able to kind of mentally fuse. It's weird. It's definitely something you need to watch to get. And the fact that it got 2 movies based on it is shocking. You got King of Atlantis, which is a direct sequel, and then Return to the Jungle, which is a CGI thing.
Okay.
Again, not sure why this got 2 movies. But on the plus side, we've got King Kong from Peter Jackson.
That's a long movie.
Yeah.
3 hours long.
And next we've got Peter Jackson's King Kong. Didn't we just talk about this? No, we didn't, because this is the PC game, which I hear good things about. I hear the game was pretty good. Haven't played it myself yet, though. I did pick that up at that thrift shop, too, for pretty cheap. Not at the same time I got Jack the Giant Slayer. That was a different shopping trip. Next up, we've got SNK Arcade Classics, which features King of the Monsters, which is a pretty fun beat-em-up fighting game with kaiju. It's right up here.
Yep, I got it.
As well as a bunch of other SNK arcade games. Konga.
A King Kong ripoff?
Kind of. Except that the giant monster action doesn't show up until the very end of the film. For the most part, it's more of a bastard scientist just trying to abuse his power as a teacher. Real icky in today's climate. But an okay movie. We've got Konga TNT, which is another SRS release.
That's kind of matching in with the color.
Yeah, a bit. We haven't watched this one yet. I don't even know if this is actually connected to Konga outside of having the similar title. It's a mystery to me. Next up, we've got Kra the Sea Monster, which is basically 2 movies shoved together.
Yep.
We've got like a Power Rangers ripoff with these characters who do not interact at all with the giant monster storyline that goes on.
Not at all.
That is a weird... Apparently there was like a sequel or something that just focused on these characters and the villain they face in this movie. I haven't seen it yet. I may have to check it out sometime just out of morbid curiosity.
You gotta do that sometimes.
I'd have to find it first, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
But the bridge has not been crossed.
Oh. It's okay. Things are a bit chaotic over here for reasons that will become clear soon enough. And next we've got Kronos, which is a movie about a robot from outer space that comes to steal energy.
We discussed it, I believe, on the podcast.
Yes, this has Jeff Morrow, who was also in The Giant Claw. I think we had actually reviewed this the month before reviewing Giant Claw, so it was a weird combination. That was not intentional.
It just happened that way.
Next, we've got Land Shark. This is... I don't know. This is a Chinese one similar to The Beast Below and a couple others. This is part of the recent trend of importing Chinese kaiju movies. So, Next, we've got The Little Shop of Horrors, which is the only version of this movie that I was able to find that didn't have Jack Nicholson's face on the cover, but he's still on the spine and the back.
He was the most famous character in the...
I know, it was only because it was one of his early roles from before he got famous. However, most people know this movie because of its sequel, Little Shop of Horrors, the musical film. And this features the original theatrical version as well as the original director's cut version of the film. Or at least as close to the original director's cut as they could get with what surviving footage they could find. Mm-hmm. Definitely worth a watch. Fun movie. Next we've got Love and Monsters, a post-apocalyptic love story. That's not the subtitle, that's just the description of the movie.
Yeah.
This one was good. Mm-hmm. Mad Monster Party, which is another Rankin Bass production.
The professor does not want the Beast to be part of the party because, well, the Beast is technically Kong, so... Yeah,
the giant monster in this movie is kind of an afterthought, and most people kind of assume that this was a Halloween movie, even though it came out nowhere near Halloween. But it does have all the classic Halloween-esque monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein's monsters, skeletons, mad scientists, zombies, werewolves. Not bad though.
No.
Pretty well made movie from the same guys who did all those classic Christmas movies. Next we've got Mazinger Z, the OG of giant robot anime.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not for me personally, but it did get me hyped for its sequel. And while I didn't much care for the anime, I prefer the manga, I still enjoyed my watching of this. Next, we've got The Meg, which apparently is getting a sequel sometime soon. Apparently, The Trench is coming out. I heard about that recently, so I don't know how accurate the claim is. But it is what it is. This is quite different from the book. Personally, I prefer the book, but the movie does a good job of telling its own story.
It's Jason Statham fighting a shark.
Next, we've got Godzilla vs. Biollante, which is actually only here because it's got Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. Mm-hmm. Which I should probably get its own copy of this one, just to go along with the fact that I've got a copy of Godzilla vs. Biollante and the other movie that's in this collection, which we'll get to fairly soon. Both of which are from Asylum. Next we've got Space Sheriff Gavin, the first entry in the Metal Hero series.
Gavin.
I love this series. It is one of my favorites. And the second to last episode is one of my favorite episodes of Tokusatsu in general. I love it. Great series. And then we've got a Mega Beast Investigator Just Beyond.
Just Beyond.
The fourth entry in the Metal Hero series. This is actually the first Blu-ray release for the Metal Heroes here in the U.S. And definitely worth checking out. Brian's seen it.
Oh, yes.
It's great. Next up, we've got Tokyo Shirei Soul Brain for the Famicom, which is the first game that I have imported from Japan. It's based on the television series, and it is also the basis for the more recognizable Shatterhand. Not a whole lot of people know that this was originally a licensed game. In fact, when I was mentioning this game to one of my brothers, and then mentioned it was adapted into this, he was like, really? That's a good game. Because most licensed games are crap, especially if they were on the NES. But this was one of the good ones. Next up, we've got The Mist, which is based on the Stephen King story. Oh boy. This is,
Yeah, let's just put that away.
It's a good movie, but oh, damn. Next up, we've got Monster, which is the third movie on that compilation we just briefly covered. Let's move on. A Monster Calls, which we talked about in last month's movie review quite a bit. Go watch that if you're interested in wondering why we talked about that in a review about some other movie. We have also reviewed this movie. This is one of my favorite kaiju movies for what it does. Interesting. Next, we've got Monster from a Prehistoric Planet, also known as Gappa the Triphibian. I'm pretty sure that this is basically just a ripoff of Gorgo because it has a very similar plot.
Yeah.
Also, there was an episode of Dragon Ball Z that just basically was this. Mm-hmm. Good stuff, good stuff. Then we've got Monster from Green Hell. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. And Monster Hunter, which is based on the video game series of the same name. It's okay.
Yep. Don't worry, folks. We're almost done.
We just got one more shelf left.
Mm-hmm.
But you're probably thinking, don't you have 2 shelves? No, we've only got 1 shelf left, and we'll explain why soon. Next up, we've got the Wii game, Monster Mayhem Build and Battle. I do not know much about this. I bought it because it was for the Wii and it was cheap.
All right, there you go.
Next, we've got Monster Seafood Wars from the creator of Kaiju Mono, Minoru Kawasaki. So, that's probably going to be fun. We haven't watched it yet. This is another SRS release. So, SRS does a fantastic job with releasing indie horror and kaiju films. So, next up, we've got Monster from Gareth Edwards.
This one was pretty good.
Yep. This was what got Gareth on the spot for, well, we'll talk about that soon. Next, we've got Monsters of War. I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
I was going to say this is another Chinese one, but no, it doesn't look like that. Looks like this one might be a US-made one. Oh well. Next up, we've got DreamWorks Monster vs. Aliens. This one's a good one. A good pastiche of classic Atom Age monster movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not just you got the Blob, you got Giant, Attack of the Giant Woman, 50-foot woman, you got Creature from the Black Lagoon, you got this guy, and then you got some kaiju action going on.
Yep.
Great movie. I know it's got a TV series. I gotta get my hands on some of that. Next, we've got Kong Skull Island, the earliest chronological entry in the Monsterverse, and arguably the best movie in the series.
I would have to say so, too.
But we have the first actual entry in the Monsterverse series, Godzilla, from Gareth Edwards.
Yep.
We mentioned we'd talk about him. This one mostly gets complained about because it's too dark to see, especially during the climax, and that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
But it was a fun movie to see. I went to go see it with a couple brothers. We had fun. Next, we've got Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is another good one. A better entry in the Monsterverse series.
You can actually see things.
Especially during the climax, even though it's all overcast.
Yep.
You still get to see stuff. It's great. Next, we've got Godzilla vs. Kong. Too many humans, 8 out of 10. That was one of the complaints. Actually, no, that was one of the complaints for King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
This one's a fun movie.
Yeah. I'm glad that the remake did pretty good.
Next, we've got Mysterious Island, based on the Jules Verne story. And this is so long, it's actually 2 discs.
No?
Okay, it's not 2 discs. I thought it was 2 discs. It is long, though. It's like almost 3 hours. That's why I thought it was 2 discs, because it was super long. Apparently this is a remake. Apparently there's been at least one other version of this movie. We haven't watched it yet, so we don't know.
Because, probably one of the reasons, it's 3 hours.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog, which contains 4 episodes from this Saban series. It didn't fare too well in the ratings, so it only got 1 season, which is unfortunate because it was actually pretty good. Even if the CGI work was,
Blasé.
CGI has gotten better. I thought it was pretty good, and whenever I think about that series, I remember it being more vibrant than the actual video files I have, because the video files I have were taken from a VHS, so they're really poor quality.
Nah.
But that's how much I actually have fond memories of it. Pretty good. Next, we've got Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which was the first film from Studio Ghibli before they were even called that. This was a movie that put Hayao Miyazaki on the map, if not for other movies that he had worked on. But yeah, no, this one's really good. Nice. Yep. Really nice one. We've covered this before. Next, we've got Negadon, the Monster from Mars, an animated short. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Next up, we've got Nezura 1964, which is a making of movie. Apparently, this is the story behind the film Nezura, which got canceled due to numerous production problems, which resulted in Gamera!
Gamera, yeah.
Next up, we've got Pacific Rim from Guillermo del Toro and Legendary. This was probably the main reason why Toho let Legendary make the Monsterverse movies, because this one was good.
Yeah.
Which is more than can be said for Pacific Rim Uprising, which was a somewhat lackluster sequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as far as the rest of these shelves, you're gonna have to tune in next time, because we're gonna tap into the power. Because next time it'll be Morphin time.
Mm-hmm. I've been here the whole time.
And he's been very patient.
My hand. All right, guys. So till next time, I'm Tank. He's Protomet. Bye.